Namaste. Hello everyone. I am Umashree Guruprasad, a mandolin player from Chennai, living in Bangalore, a vocalist and a mandolin tutor and a vocal tutor too. Today I am going to present some interesting facts about the Carnatic mandolin. First and foremost, I would like to thank Prashala and Kumar uncle for organizing this event. Yes. So, this is the Carnatic mandolin, a professional Carnatic mandolin. Mandolin, the name, is very synonymous with the legend, Mandolin U. Srinivasji, who happened to be my guru. And I feel extremely fortunate to have performed my Arangetram under his presence and guidance too. So, this mandolin, going to the history of the instrument, it dates back to the 17th century and it belongs to the lute family of instruments. So other instrument which belongs to this lute category is the guitar, banjo and so many other instruments which are still not very popular. The same way mandolin was also not very popular in the Western world too. It never occupied the mainstream. Always guitar occupied the mainstream in that. So, now let us go to the description of this 5-string mandolin. So, this Carnatic mandolin was actually designed, developed and popularized by my Guruji. So, the original, as I already said, had 8 strings in it. To bring or to bring that gamaka and that bhava, which is the core of Carnatic music. So 8 strings were remodeled to 5 strings. So the 5 strings in the instrument, so that is tuned this way. The first one is the bass sa, and then the bass pa, and then the normal sa, the mid sa, then mid pa, and in addition to it we have one more string, which is the upper sa, for playing higher octaves. So this is suitable for playing 3 octaves. So violin, Carnatic violin, it generally has only 4 strings in it. So this mandolin has 5 strings in order to play even the higher notes. Now, mandolin is always compared, or it is always being confused with the guitar. Now let me tell you some differences between a guitar and a mandolin. A mandolin also looks like a miniature guitar, but there is a stark difference between the mandolin and a guitar in terms of its tone. Guitar has a more bass tone to it and mandolin has a more high-pitched tone to it. So that is the main difference, and this is the fretboard. Even guitar also has this part, this fretboard. But the fretboard will be a little more lengthier because it has a bass tone to it. So the length of the fretboard will be still a little more when compared to the mandolin. So this is much more compact. The fretboard is much more compact. So that is the main difference between a guitar and a mandolin. Now, in comparison with violin, more or less violin and mandolin, they have the same kind of technique while playing. But the difference is the bowing. That is, in violin we have the bowing technique. Here we use the plectrum. That is the main difference. And the fingering techniques and the way of playing and the way of rendering the gamakas, those are very, very similar to that. Now, and there were so many doubts whether this instrument is very much possible to bring in great gamakas in this one. But that doubt was proved wrong by my Guruji, because he brought in the best out of the instrument. Now there are so many other people who have also taken up this instrument and who are also rendering their best. So let me show you a simple demo of how to play the basic Sarigama Padanisa in this one. Now, I can also show you how we actually play the gamakas in it. For example, let us consider an easy kriti, Mahaganapatim. In that, the first Sangadi itself, Mahaganapatim. So the gamaka is very much similar to the way we play it in the violin. Yes. So, this is the way we actually play the gamakas in this one, which is very, very similar to the way we play it in the violin. But violin we keep it this way. The positioning of the instrument is a little different, but the positioning of the notes is very, very similar. Yes. So, we also have the recordings of my Guruji who had played very, very complex ragas with utmost perfection, and that has really touched so many rasikas around the world, which also personally inspired me to take up the instrument. Yes. And now, the other aspect of this one, if we see, the appearance of the instrument. So this is very, very similar to a guitar. That is, it is a miniature guitar if you actually see. But this mandolin, it is an electric mandolin. So we have the bass and the volume adjustments like this. Since it is a high-pitched instrument, so therefore we have the bass so as to bring in a mid-pitch into it. So this electric mandolin, and it should always be connected to an amplifier to bring out the sound. And another kind of mandolin which we have is the acoustic mandolin, which was primarily used for Western music. So acoustic mandolin can be played even without the amplifier, but this essentially needs an amplifier. The next question is to the sustainability of the instrument. That is, there have been so many doubts whether it is possible to sustain. Can this be used as an accompanying instrument? So, talking about that point, it cannot be sustained as a violin, because violin we use a bowing technique for that, so it can be sustained better than a mandolin. But still, with mandolin, in one beat we can play a lot of notes. Since the notes are much more compact in this one, so playing speed is also very much easier in this one when compared to other instruments like veena. For example, the sustenance cannot be as perfect as a violin, but with good training and practice, this is possible. I can just demonstrate that for you now. Now let us take the Ragam Kalyani. In one beat, it is possible to play a lot number of notes in that. But still the sound will attenuate after a point. So in one beat we were able to play a lot of notes, but still the quality of that sustenance will only come after with some practice. But it cannot be as perfect as a violin or any other wind instrument where breath control is the main thing to bring out that sustenance. So that is a slight drawback, I would say. But rendering of the gamakas with precision, all that, everything is possible. There have been one more question which people have been asking me. Generally, people who learn vocal are always advised to learn one instrument so as to understand the nuances better. And people have even asked me whether it is how far learning an instrument like mandolin helpful while learning vocal music. So my personal experience, I would say, it has really helped me in understanding the nuances of Carnatic music better. So vocal is great. I have learnt a lot of songs, everything, but trying to understand the swaras, and because this is also a gamaka oriented instrument, I was able to understand how these gamakas actually operate, the technicality behind that, the musicality behind that. So it really helped me to improve in vocal also multifold times to what it was before learning an instrument. Yes, so this is an advantage of learning an instrument like mandolin. It also helps me to innovate better. And finally, I would like to conclude this session with a famous kriti in the ragam Madhyamavati, set to Adi Talam, composed by Sri Purandara Dasar, a very famous kriti, Bhagyada Lakshmi Baramma.